Michael, we continue to see more shuttle diplomacy with high-level officials and now potentially President Biden trying to go to the region to de-escalate tensions. What are we seeing right now on the ground as we continue to hear signals of potential ground incursion into Gaza?
Yeah, Sherry, I mean, I think there's a real sense of urgency around the diplomacy with the conflict. And the main aim of that is to try to ensure that civilians can get out of the firing line in northern Israel. We've had Israel urge the UN to try to evacuate people from the north of the enclave, and we've seen about 600,000 who've left Gaza City and around that. With President Biden, I think that's more a show of solidarity with Israel. Certainly his Secretary of State has been meeting with leaders around the region in some shuttle diplomacy, where the main aim there was to try to put pressure on Iran to keep it out of the Israel-Hamas conflict, to avoid it from escalating. So yes, there's a lot of movement there. The main point, though, is that the West has been trying to encourage Israel to try to minimise civilian casualties. Very hard when you're going into an urban area, but it's really, really important in terms of Israel retaining international sympathy when it goes about this ground operation. So that's this is the prelude to that ground operation, I would say.
The UN has already called this recommendation to evacuate more than 1 million people impossible. You talk about, I guess how the international community is now responding and the support that we've seen for Israel's right to defend itself, certainly. But how is the humanitarian aspect now playing out?
Well, it's very, very difficult, Heidi. I mean, the latest numbers that we've seen is an estimate of 2,300 people killed in Gaza, and that's the largest increase in many years in terms of Israeli incursions. It's a built-up area, so we've just got civilians all around the place and military targets in amongst that. And whether it's propaganda or not, there's talk that Hamas is trying to keep more people up there to make it more difficult for the Israelis. About half of what Israel wanted in terms of evacuations of civilians has taken place. But it's very, very tough to try to defeat Hamas or to root out Hamas, as they talk about it, when you're in heavily populated areas. And there's a lot of people in Gaza. You go in there with ground operations. Who is a friend? Who is a foe? These are eternal questions when dealing with trying to move out a sort of a guerrilla force almost in heavily populated areas. It's really tough.